This is VSiN, the sports betting network.
Follow the money. That's what I always say. You always follow the money. Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Pauly Howard on VSiN.
Welcome aboard. Thanks for watching today on YouTube TV, listening on Sirius XM channel 158, iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio, or any of our great affiliates across the country. We will get into this monstrous Thursday night football game coming up in about a half an hour. Lions and the Cowboys, our best bets at the end of the hour, and this is going to be a fun discussion. Survivor here as Mike Buchmiller joins us in studio. He's a former winner, and he is still alive. My God almighty. Unbelievable. In Circa with 45 people overall, and James Sullivan in studio as well, the creator of Survivor Sweat, survivorsweat.com. Gentlemen, thanks so much for coming in today. How are you?
Thanks for having us. I'm glad to be here and having this discussion. I know I was fortunate enough to be here at the beginning of the season, and you said maybe we'll have you back, and so I'm glad to be back.
Are you already losing sleep?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, I don't sleep well as it is, but yeah, it's hard to shut your mind off, as many people have explained over and over. Like, it's hard to get it out of your mind. You just don't want to leave any stone unturned, and you're just waiting for the next week and just, looking ahead at the picks and just trying to play it out over and over and over. And you do your best to try to occupy yourself, but it consumes you.
So take us through this. Tell us how many entries you have left at this point and what it was like with the decision-making process leading into Thanksgiving/Black Friday and how you possibly survived.
Yeah, for sure. We entered, my partner and I, we had 2 entries heading into Thanksgiving. We had one on the Chiefs and one on the Bears. Heading into the week, we did our podcast on Wednesday. Walking in, my partner says, we're probably going to have to take the Bears. And I looked at him and just shook my head because, I kind of knew he was right, but we usually don't come to a decision at that point. We don't speak before Wednesday regarding the contest. We let it organically play out on our podcast. I think it makes for better content. We're just talking like 2 guys that are discussing, our pass and the percentages and the math and who we have left and who the public has left and those type of things. And, it quickly, we left our podcast and there really wasn't no decision. It was going to be Kansas City and the Bears. And, we thought if we took those teams, it gave us a 61% chance to move on. If we lost one, we hope that it would only be the Chiefs. It would be the Chiefs. And that way, if we won with the Bears, we would clip a huge percentage of the pool. Because we're playing this thing to win. And, when you look at the math, and I've seen a few people break it down very beautifully online, based on the win percentage and the point spread, if 47% of the public was going to be on the Chiefs, we were just supposed to take the Bears. And we projected 55 to 58%. I think we discussed for a little bit, and I literally said this on the phone with my partner, and I said, listen, if we don't take the Bears here, we just need to quit playing Survivor. There's no reason to play because this is just a game theory play. We're not going to move on with, 500 and some odd people left. The math on winning a contest like that, it's just not going to happen. So it really wasn't that hard of a decision. I mean, we just have to push that button. Having the Chiefs made it a little bit easier, but when they lose to the Cowboys, you just know it's all riding. And it was the math was 1.42% that all dogs would win that.
You're right.
And here it happens.
So, and on that entry with the Bears,
yep.
You had the Eagles left?
Yeah.
You had the Ravens left?
No Ravens.
Okay.
We did have the Eagles. And a part of that decision is by winning there, you also move on with the Eagles, which you may be off the chalk when the Niners play the Titans. So now the Eagles play the Raiders that week. And so it's kind of a double play there. But now the people that got through with Chicago probably do have the Eagles as well.
Yeah.
And so, when you're betting these games, it's a whole different story. And you're in different pools, but when you're in a Circa Survivor pool, a large pool with this amount of people left, you have to take these contrarian plays. This is how you're going to cut through. and chop these big numbers. And so, in 2022, it was week 16. We were supposed to take Detroit at Carolina. They were 71% favorite, and I just didn't like the game. Detroit had won 7 straight. At that time, Goff had some issues throwing outside in weather on grass. I didn't like the O-line matchup, and I just didn't like the game. So we pivoted off. There was 14 left. We pivoted. We took the Sunday night game. We took Pittsburgh, 2.5-point favorite versus the Raiders. Sure enough, 10 went down with the Lions, as I think there were 7-point favorites and maybe 5.5-point favorites. And they go down. We clip 10, and we're down to 4 like that.
Are you superstitious? Do you think it's meant to be because it's the exact same name now? Jet 4?
It's interesting because my wife goes, "Are you superstitious?" And asked me if I was, and I'm like, I don't believe I'm superstitious, but when things are going well, I keep doing the same things.
All right.
I just do things the same way.
Okay.
And I'm just a man of repetition, and I guess when things aren't going well, then I switch it up.
Okay, so you're the perfect guy to ask then. As a previous winner and as a guy who's still alive, then obviously you're very good at this. We're talking to Mike Buchmiller, and also James Sullivan is in studio with us right now. If you lost on that ticket, that means that you go down with your final 2 on the Chiefs and the Bears.
Yeah.
You guys had, and part of that conversation is it, oh, well, that's fine. We have to be okay with that decision. We're done playing Survivor for this year, and we'll just pick it up again and make another run next season?
When you play these, in order to win, you have to be willing to die. And it would be an absolute gut punch, for sure. Any day you get bounced out of Circa Survivor is the worst day.
It's the absolute worst.
It's an absolute gut punch. But I can tell you, the only way that you can win these things is you have to take shots like that. You really have to take, 25% of the time, we're going to move on with less than 50 people there. 75% of the time, it's going to be 500 or more. And so what are the odds on us winning then, as opposed to taking that shot? And as it turns out, the Bears were game. They ran the football and they got it done. But it wasn't just the X's and O's thing, because that's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about game theory, and we're talking about the public and where they're going to land.
James, what's it like then with the website after what transpires, even before the Eagles game?
Well, we had players that reached out to us actually going into that Eagles game that were ready to list after that game. We had one of the remaining 49 entries at the time, who we listed immediately after that game, sold pick control after that game.
Pick control too.
Yeah, sold pick control. There was one entry that sold pick control. He was a younger person, and he said, "Hey, this is life-changing money for me," and he sold his pick control immediately after that Eagles game.
Wow. So 51%?
Yeah, it was just over. He kept a good chunk of it, so he's still, he cashed out some, and he still has a good chunk of it. So if the entry does make it to the finish line, he'll also get a second payday. As
big as these contests have become, is there going to be a number where it's just going to be like too big? Like, let's say this thing gets down to 15 people, and contestants are like, "I want to sell this," and people are like, "My God, you're going to sell your ticket for $1.2 million? That's a lot of cash we're talking about here." Well,
I always say, there's different people that are left. To this guy, it was life-changing money for him to cash out for. It was a 6-figure sale. He sold pick control for 6 figures. So to him, he cashed out that. There's still a lot of big-time gamblers in the remaining 45. there's a lot of poker players that are left. There's a lot of sharp money that's in there as well. To them, it's not even obviously a consideration. They're playing for the 18 million. They're playing for millions. So
I think that ties into Grandissimo, right? Because so many poker players were in that contest, and they were still alive at the very end, and part of the eventual 6-team chop that won that contest. They have more money than you can fathom, so they don't. That's always going to be an option there.
Yeah, there was, of the 6 players that were remaining in Grandissimo, at least 2 of them were professional poker players that we spoke with. When it got down to 6, there was early discussions of a potential save at that point, taking some money off the table and then playing for the rest. As soon as we got to the poker players that were left, they immediately shut that down. They had no interest whatsoever in any kind of save, any kind of chop, any kind of taking any money. They wanted to play for the full $6.9 million.
Yeah, that's going to be an issue, I think, for Grandissimo in years to come. Trying to find that eventual chop, because poker players are going to be involved probably every single year.
Well, yeah, and they bought in for $100,000. So having them take $1 million off the table. Don't get me wrong, it's a lot of money, but like I said, they're playing for the 6.9. There was that the save discussions at that point were over really quickly. That just didn't make any traction. There's a few entries that were interested, but the poker players are not interested at all. Yeah.
Well, how about the scenario where we're looking at 3 left? But there was not going to be a chop with 3 people for $7 million.
Yeah, I mean, of the 3, a couple of them were the poker players. So
it wasn't going to happen.
Even if if it would have got down to 3, a chop would not have. I'm convinced a chop would not have happened at 3, and I think it would have played to that. I think they would have played for $6.9 million.
Down to one winner.
Down to one winner.
Yeah.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah. And your website again, for those who don't know, survivorsweat.com, where you can buy and sell pieces of these contests, and that's, I guess, back to my point of the poker players. Like when the price becomes this big, they're going to be like, yeah, I want in because I'm out, and so I want to buy this piece, and this person's asking for $127,000. That's fine. I got that on my couch right now.
There's one entry actually on the site right now that is selling pick control. So you could, in essence, you're buying into a contest with 45 people left. It's, I think just under 200,000. Someone's selling it for under EV. They're selling 50% and pick control for under the implied value of the entry. So yeah, if you want to get in right now, 45 left. I mean, there's a share there for you.
I wonder if somebody out there that wants to get back in with that kind of money, though, they would look at it and say, I'll give you 51%. I don't need pick control. I trust you. You've gotten this far so far. So why would you not? I mean, let's go. Let's ride this thing together. Yeah,
I mean, there's guys that ask like whether they can collaborate on picks and things like that. There's discussions of that, but honestly, anyone coming in spending that kind of money, they want control. I mean, these are control freaks. I mean, they want to control their own destiny with their money.
Yeah, think about this. So people were willing to put $100K up, $6.9 million. Why not $200K up for triple the money?
Yeah, right.
With less people. You just have to think about that.
Good point. Mm-hmm. Good point. It's Follow the Money here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Right now, our guest in studio, Mike Buchmiller, former Circa Survivor winner, still alive, one of the final 45, and James Sullivan, who created SurvivorSweat.com. Well, here's the thing. I want to ask now about the strategy moving forward with Mike's entry, now that each ticket is worth around $400,000. That's coming up next year on VSiN.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
We continue now with Mike Buchmiller, former Circa Survivor winner back in 2022, still alive now, one of 45 different entries, and also James Sullivan, creator of SurvivorSweat.com, and they're a part of, obviously, the Survivor Sweat podcast as well. So Mike explained in the first segment, for people just tuning in right now, they decided to take a shot on the Bears. Made sense, and they had Philadelphia available, all game theory here, because 25% chance to win, and they're going to advance with a very small group of people if they get there, rather than being 75% and the herd's going to be like 600 people maybe advancing. Like, what good does that do you? So they took a shot, it comes in. So now what is the strategy moving forward? That you took that shot, it turns into a grand slam. Do you play it even keeled the rest of the way?
Well, even though there's 45 remaining, fortunately we've been down here before, we're not close. It seems like you're close because you start with 18,718. But you still got to chop 44 left. So, yeah, we're not close. And I think this is going to get all the way to the ends. That said, yeah, now we have a few teams that we can take. We're going to look and analyze and, study some of the spots we can be on, dig into some of the games in terms of, the matchups. But that said, we also have to look and see where the public's going to land. And it might be a little difficult because think about it. All the people that are here now are contrarian players.
No doubt.
And so maybe some of the pick percentages get a little screwy, So it looks like, Tampa Bay could be the chalk. I wouldn't be surprised you turn around and you find 20 on the Browns here. And so you have to, and it might be one of those things, they know what I know what they know, and vice versa, back and forth. So you have to look and see who has Denver available, who has Packers available, who has Rams available. There's a few other spots where people can land, Buffalo, and then try to, find out where people are going to go and try to get a game you can feel comfortable with. But, it's going to be hard reading these guys the rest of the way.
Are you freaking out about Christmas, or do you feel good about that?
I hope I get there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
If we get there.
You got a good plan, though?
Well, we'll see what the plan is when we get there.
Yeah.
I mean, you got 4 people that have the Lions available. 3 have Denver, which I think a couple will be spent this week. So you might have somebody down there with 1 with Denver. You have 12 with the Chiefs. We'll see how many get there.
People might be forced to play Washington.
Washington might be the play.
Well, they might be forced to do it too.
Maybe even the Vikings.
I don't. Oh my God!
How crazy would that be?
Oh,
How
can't
crazy
stomach
would
that.
There's a handful of entries that only have Washington and the Vikings.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's it.
That's,
Down to
all,
those two teams.
that's all they have for Christmas is Washington. And there's a handful. There's more than one. Yeah.
Okay,
So-
excellent, excellent. John Accorsi is on the show tomorrow. You mentioned the 1.4% earlier. What did you think of his strategy just to play all the dogs?
Yeah, I'm not that crazy. I'll tell you that. I had options.
Yeah.
And so I want as many options as I can get in those weeks where everybody has to be on certain games, and then I let that play out. I want to be able to have those options. I mean, who knows? What if everybody was on the Bears? I want to have the Eagles. So I don't want to limit the ability to take certain teams. And so, like I said, we had several options. Obviously, Eagles being the safe one, and we have several options for Christmas too. So hopefully, if we get there, we'll make that decision.
Okay.
So when the Bears were up, and they were, to me, we were on the air live, they were clearly the right side in that game. So the way it worked out was unbelievable. But once they get out to that lead, to protect your last entry here in Survivor, were you guys betting the Eagles in play?
Yeah, we looked early. The books weren't giving it up until, I would think, halfway through the third quarter. That's when it flipped, and Philadelphia became dogs, and we started taking little pieces on the way and betting back. But again, that's part of our mechanics.
You have to.
In a normal game. Add the Survivor entry. It's a lot more. And so, yeah, we were happy to lose those bets.
No doubt about that. Yep.
James, can you take us through what's on the website, how it works, and how everything is negotiable?
Yeah, so everyone has their own entry. They have 100% of their entry. You can sell at any time, anywhere between 1% up to 99% of your entry at any time. So people are buying and selling shares of these entries throughout, starting in week one. There's been, an active marketplace even before the season. But, going into this week, obviously people are selling much smaller shares because the entries are worth so much money. They're worth over, the implied value of the entry is over $400,000. So you can go on the website. You can, if you want to, buy back in, or if you want to get a piece of a sweat, you could buy, as little as 1% of an entry. There are, you mentioned John, actually, he's the one with 4 entry. He has a listing for his 4-pack where you can buy a piece of all 4 of his entries. There's 45 left. He has 4 of them. You could buy a piece of all 4 of them. It gives people with the entries an opportunity to monetize their entries, and then it gives those that are not in the contest a chance to buy a piece and sweat along.
And you can come in right now, and with one is offering pick control?
There's one entry in the marketplace right now, yes, of the 45, where you could come in, you could buy pick control. So you could take over an entry right now with 45 people left playing for $18 million. You could buy and take over an entry right now.
Damn.
That's incredible.
Paul, I knew you were going to ask the question about flipping again.
Yes. Can you tell the Vodka Johnny story, and also how many times I sell this, and then I buy it, and then I sell it, and then the resell, and how that works, and how many different owners we've had on various entries?
Yeah, so last year the Vodka Johnny entry broke a record for the most owners of one single entry. I think there was 25 to 30 people that owned a piece of that entry. And the reason why is because that entry was sold in week 3 last year, at the end of week 3 going into week 4. So the guy who owned that entry sold the pick control. The person who bought that entry, he had sold 50%, so they each own half. And then throughout the season, they each were selling shares of their 50%. So by the time it got all the way to the end, that entry was one of the winning entries. They had each sold so many shares of their entries that there was, I think it was like 26 people that was at the window collecting. And Jeff Benson had told me at the time this is the record for the most owners of one single entry.
That might be tough to beat.
Yeah, it's going to be very hard to beat. Yeah.
Wasn't there a gentleman from Canada who came in, bought 10, and right away after the carnage in week 3, he's like, I'm done. Let's go. Sell them all.
There was, yeah. He came in this year. He brought his wife this year. He bought 20. His wife actually told the story that he bought her a car from the money he made from buying the 10 entries, flipping them after a couple weeks. He obviously didn't have all 10 available, but he had enough available that he recouped his investment, made enough money, apparently bought his wife a car.
Good for him.
Not bad.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
The website's awesome. It's so easy to use. You see who's available and what's up there in the marketplace. It's excellent. SurvivorSweat.com. Mike, do you think the podcast has helped you? Bouncing stuff off Baker, bouncing stuff off your partner live, as you talked about every Wednesday and Saturday?
Oh, I love the Saturday night. Obviously, both of you have made appearances on there. But I love just to hear everybody else's, their game theory, how they go about the contest, how they pick games and those things. And there's so many ways to go about this. We have our method to madness, if you will, our secret sauce. And it's just great. It's like if you're playing poker, there's many different ways to play a hand. And, all can be true. And so it's great to listen to you guys. It's great to have all. And we've had Chris Moneymaker on. We've had Jared Blesnick, well known in the poker community. Yeah. We've had just contest players on that are currently in their Grandissimo entries. And it's great just to absorb everything that, how they go about things and just what it means to them, and it's fun to share the experience with people.
Yeah, I agree with that. I love having a partner in Survivor so you can talk about it the entire week. And you also might be missing something.
Sure.
Okay, what am I missing? What am I not seeing with this game? And just to have every possible angle at every matchup possibly on the board that week. Do you, obviously not looking for the team for this week, but do you guys know who you're going to play at this point?
We actually don't.
No, okay.
We have 3 options, and they're all on the table. So obviously by Saturday at 4 o'clock, they better be in. But we have 3 options, and we honestly do not know where we're going to land.
Were you stunned at the 2 no picks?
Yes and no. Life things happen in life, unfortunately. And did I hear this correctly that somebody didn't know they were supposed to make a pick?
That's correct. Yeah.
There's just so much content out there, and I find that hard to believe. And yes, there's fine print. You got to read the rules.
Yeah,
if you're going to enter these contests, and I know I think about it all the time. You guys think about it all the time. That person, I'm like, how do you not, every show that you listen to, all they talk about is Thanksgiving, Christmas, these special weeks, playing this contest backwards, and just to flat out not know, man, that's a tough one.
It happens every year. I can tell you that. It happens. Yeah. As a proxy, I had a client years ago going into Christmas. He made it all the way to Christmas. He was one of the final, whatever it was that year, let's say 30. And he, the week before Christmas, was going to burn the Chiefs. And I had to call him and say, it's your card, play it how you want, but do you know you need to play a game for Christmas? He did not know. And
so he knew Thanksgiving, but not Christmas.
Right. He did not know that he had to play Christmas. And I had to call him. So it happens. I've seen it happen. It happens every year where there's people in the contest, even deep in where entries are worth that much. They don't know.
30 seconds. Where do you think it goes from here? Grandissimo and Circa Survivor. What do you expect next year?
Oh, wow. I had come on last year. I had said 20 million. It felt just a little short of that.
Right. Yeah.
25 million for sure. Yeah. I think it could approach 30 million.
Wow.
Absolutely.
Mike, same number?
Yeah, oh, yeah. This thing is just going to skyrocket. Yeah. Just the reach. It's unbelievable. And the more people we've discussed, all the podcasts, you guys, everybody, Circa, this thing's going to blow out the water.
Good luck, man. Take it down again this year. Mike Buchmiller, James Sullivan. Thanks, guys. More on the Thursday night game next year on VSiN.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Yeah, that was a great conversation with Mike Buchmiller, former Circa Survivor winner, 2022, still in it this year now. It's down to 44 people. And James Sullivan, creator of SurvivorSweat.com. So put yourself in Mike's shoes for a second. And he had Philadelphia available. They're like, nope. We're going down swinging, man. Now, they had another entry that was on the Chiefs, and they were a small favorite, but that one goes down, and you have to submit these at the same exact time. The deadline's 4 o'clock on Saturday out here, and the whole thought process is the Bears have about a 25% chance to win this game on paper, according to the market. If they win, I'm going to be one of, 20, 30 people to advance with using the Bears. If I lose, I'm out. Then that's going to suck. Mm-hmm. But if I go with the Eagles, what have we really accomplished? Because we're going to advance with 500 other people.
It reminds me last year of around the same time when David Baker was on, stating the case why he had to play the Bears in the Thursday night game against Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
and the value and what was going to happen if he got through. So many takeaways from that. Also, the poker players were insulted, almost offended at the idea of a chop.
Yeah.
And then the Accorsi angle, who's on tomorrow. And even I thought James was going to say, yeah, it happened. I thought he was going to tell me the guy was either dead or in jail. No, he just forgot. Even we're talking about Christmas, where you don't know. And
right. So he remembered Thanksgiving, but did not know about Christmas. Now, how is that possible?
I don't know. And then the guy made a deep run. The last 2 years, there's been two guys who didn't get a pick in late with deep runs. One guy was a CEO of a big company out here, I think a casino, and he just forgot. And the other guy was a local, and he fell asleep.
That's right. He slept late. So that's the definition of game theory there. I should have asked Mike when he was on, if they had only one entry left, who were they going to take? Would it still have been Chicago, or would that one entry been on Kansas City?
It's real now.
Because we only had...
How about the fact you can jump in right now?
Oh,
total pick
the whole time?
Yeah, here we go.
There's one available right now with total pick control.
From 18,700 down to 45, and I can jump in with pick control.
69 entries were in Grandissimo this year at the beginning. So, and I speculated at the time, I'm like, okay, so you're talking about people here who are going to have some endless funds and gigantic bankrolls. They're not going to be in the conversation here to have a chop with. And that turned out to be the case. And that would be my takeaway for people who are thinking about getting into Grandissimo next year with, like, I don't know, 5 partners, 6, 7, 8 partners. If you make a deep run, you got to expect to win the whole thing and not to have other people agree to a chop. And I think that this contest is going to grow inside the poker community. You were talking, I think, off the air with one of the guys who was in the chop. They were saying he's won like $30 million playing poker in his career. You think that he cares about a $100,000 buy-in contest to lose that entry? Like, he's not going to chop to win $1.15 million. He wants to win the whole thing.
Yeah, there's also someone who won Grandissimo and is still in Circa Survivor.
Is that right?
There's another one, too. Yeah, we're trying to get him on the show. He's in the Bahamas.
Oh, I forgot about that. I forgot it's him. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Right.
Yes. So we got a lot of things going on here.
I can't wait to talk to Accorsi tomorrow.
Oh, great.
4 entries left.
He's a good guy, too.
Used all dogs on Thanksgiving / Black Friday.
Yeah.
And I think that there's a chance that was a strategy. And you might disagree with that, but I have to ask him tomorrow, is that a strategy every single year? You use all the best teams leading up to Thanksgiving. That way you can't even think about using them. You're forced to use the dogs, and then you hope for Armageddon, and you're going to all you have to do is hit it once in your lifetime. And maybe this is the only time that happens on Thanksgiving.
And he split them up. He split them up last week and got through?
Yeah, he had 4 different teams.
Yeah, how about that?
13B, and they all won.
And then you can go along with the ride now, too. He's got all 4 up there. You can jump in and buy as well.
How about that?
I know Scotty Tribuco was trying to pull that maneuver off. I think he wanted to sell more than 51%, but then he went out with 3 on the Ravens and 1 on the Eagles, as he still had 4 left.
Right.
So no good.
All right, big Thursday night game coming up tonight. Detroit taking on the Cowboys. Earlier today, we had some line movement on this game, and it was on the side of the Detroit Lions. They moved from 3 to 3.5-point favorites, and that's pretty much, I'm looking at the screen right now, the number everywhere, and the total, Pauly, just is at several books, almost all of them now at 55.5. Circa's at 55.
Says all the makings tonight. Boy, the same game parlays that could cash. The anytime touchdown tickets that could cash. The props we've mentioned all show with the touchdown field goal each half, or 2 rushing, 2 passing touchdown, all that as well. Talking to Mike during the commercial break, he also loves Gibbs receiving yards over. How can you not? I mean, you're not going to be able to protect this guy. He was so good in the Philly game. Just dump it off to him. Maybe he can make plays in space and take pressure off Goff. And this one wasn't on my radar, but I have to thank the guru, John Hansen. I don't think they'll be able to run the ball tonight. Goff attempts over. He got 31.5. 32 plus is $1.30 at DraftKings right now. I think that's a good angle, too. Good job by the guru, who also was on Gibbs receiving yards over, likes Lamb over as well. And for the other stuff up there, go to the website, And check out his breakdowns on the game today at vsin.com.
How about you go total contrarian here like Buchmiller? No touchdown in the game, or more specifically, a primetime special, no touchdown in the first half. Can we get?
There's just no way. There's just no way I could envision 20-17 or something. They can't see it.
Here's the scenario in the first half: long drives. Both coaches are stubborn. They're facing 4th and 3s, like at the 7-yard line, and they refuse to take the points.
Pull LaFleur, yeah.
And they go for it every single time, resulting in no points. And come halftime, they eventually do kick a couple of field goals, and it's like 6-3 the score. Or is that a madman talking right now?
Yeah. I want some of what you're smoking. Dak, I also...
You wanted plenty of what Mike was smoking when he put in the Bears, I'll tell you that. Yeah.
Well, when you explain it, I mean, it certainly makes it a compelling case. But this is a whole different ballgame. When you can envision a scenario where the Detroit Lions are going to get stops after what Winston did to them and only sacked them once.
I can't.
How about the Dak passing yards? That's another one that's moved now. But early, I mean, if you can get 265.5 on Dak passing yards, but what that's, I think he eats as well. And the Paul Charchian breakdown, so good, throwing at Robertson, Pickens, Lamb. But I think where it really gets juicy is the anytime touchdown, that there's so many guys. I mean, we got 6. You can make a case for 5 tight ends here at big numbers. And guys who have scored on the season as well.
Pretty much.
And plus, creative coaches and coaches who have shown they'll do that and use the gadget play or throw to these guys as well. With what's happened with Brevin Spanford, Lipke, and the backup tight ends with Detroit and the guys they just picked up as well. So that I think there'll be candidates inside the 5-yard line, too, inside the 10.
Pauly, this goes back several years when we were doing mornings. One of your favorite bets to talk about on the shows then, you like to parlay the no defensive or special teams touchdowns with a couple of good candidates on that week's card. Does this game qualify high total, 2-quarter? Well, but it's Dak. He threw one last week.
No, I'm fine with that. No, the thing that would concern me would be Goff strip sack, scoop and score.
Sure, that's definitely a thing.
Yeah, and also Vegas has adjusted too. The juice on these has gone crazy. This used to be 260, 280. Now you're seeing 330. The Westgate has every game offered, and they are in the 340s.
Oh, is that right?
They have really jacked them up on this.
For no touchdown,
no defensive
or special teams touchdown.
Yeah.
But you're not involved with that tonight.
Yeah, I have it. Yeah, but not.
Oh, you do have it. Okay.
Yeah. But the one thing that would concern me, though, would be a Goff scoop and score.
Yeah.
It's $3 here at Circa, by the way.
You could also predict this, though, because if Dak throws one tonight that gets picked off and taken back to the house, like social media just can't wait to unload on Dak when he makes a bad pass. That happened, I don't even know why I was on Twitter on Thanksgiving, but I happened to be in that moment.
When he threw the pick right away?
Yeah, of course. And it's a scorched earth immediately on the guy.
Yep. 650 combined passing yards plus 450. 700 is 9-1. Quarterback throws for 400 tonight plus 850. Dak passing touchdown each quarter 20-1. Both quarterbacks 25 completions plus 450. I mean, give me 14-0 Dallas 6 minutes in. Then we get some crazy.
I would certainly take that.
Congrats to the average Joe Weekly winner, Philip Purdy. We had 17 people with a perfect 7-0 record. Every week you can jump in the contest by making 7 picks, NFL or college. Top scorer takes home $500. Win it with an Edge Boost account, and that doubles to $1,000. Each quarter, one winner gets the ultimate prize, airfare for 2 to Vegas, 2 nights stay here at Circa, and an in-studio guest appearance on a VSiN show. Free to enter anytime. VSiN.com/Joe. VSiN.com/Joe. Great job, Philip.
A lot of bets to get to coming up. Our best bets with in-pocket plays around the corner on Follow the Money. It's VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
To determine the winner of any given college basketball game.
Someone gives you 10,000 to 1 on anything. You take it. Take it. I bet you $20 I can get you gambling before the end of the day. No way. I'll give you 3-1 odds. Nope. 5-1. Nope. 10-1. You're on.
Ready to go. So good. Number one, it's the Cowboys and the Lions. Number two, it's a playoff game, essentially. Loser leaves town, and we got a total up to 55.5. I hope it's like Tampa and Atlanta last year. So it was a result. Got fun with the props, creativity, and take some shots. Either you take a shot
Or what?
you take a bleep. Each team, touchdown, field goal, each half, 10-1. Brevin, Span, Ford, anytime, touchdown, 10-1. Third, fourth-string tight end with the Cowboys from St. Cloud, Minnesota. Field goal each quarter, 6-1. Each team has a rushing and passing touchdown each half, 50-1. McMillan, Offensive Rookie of the Year. Virginia, money line, $1.30. That's up to 4 now. As Brad Power said earlier, he was part of the move. They played a couple weeks ago. Virginia spanked that ass.
Whoa. Easy.
The wild. Why is this line so low? Fishy. Fished in a mini Malinsky special for Calgary after a 5-game road trip. The Hot Wild, only $1.18 on the road.
Careful of those fishy numbers. Hello, Atlanta Hawks last night.
And a big time. A Malinsky special. Move over. This is an all-timer. A 7-game, 15-day road trip. Ottawa returns home and with a backup goalie. Give me the Rangers tonight at plus money. And an 18-3 run. Goal in the first 10. This goes in 10 minutes. Avalanche. Islanders. Goal in the first 10, $1.90. And I got to play this at Caesars. Shop it. With a honey in the middle, there's some leeway. It's a 3-way at Caesars, $1.15. But if you can find something that's not the 3-way, because for whatever reason there's not a field goal tonight, it'd be a loser. But Cowboys' longest made field goal tonight. Come on, Aubrey, get it done. Dan Campbell doesn't like those field goals. And let's have a lot of fun tonight.
Best of luck, Pauly. So the college basketball plays last night. The system plays, fading these teams that made the title game or won the title game of Feast Week tournaments. 2 and 3 last night. Eastern Kentucky got there plus 15.5. UCLA first half got there against Washington. But the other 3, oh boy.
Damn SMU.
Northwestern absolutely destroyed. SMU no good. Cal Baptist same thing. On to tonight. There's some penny in here, I believe, as well. Yeah, I'm all across the board here on the Cowboys. Plus 3.5, minus 110. This was already pending. The Cowboys money line plus 145. SEC title game, give me those dogs, minus 130 against Alabama. Next week in the NFL early line, Seahawks minus 3.5 against the Colts. Miami plus 550 to make the playoffs in college football. Keeson Wallace 500 to 1 NBA Defensive Player of the Year. Now to the new plays that we have. Adding more Cowboys. Money line plus 152. You can actually get a little bit higher than that right now. And I did it again. So 2 units here in the Cowboys plus 3.5. And give me George Pickens anytime touchdown. Bet it at plus 138.
Make the holidays unforgettable with Omaha Steaks. Holiday roast, hand-selected gift packages. Omaha Steaks delivers top-quality meals and memorable gifts that bring everyone together. Every steak perfectly aged and hand-carved for exceptional flavor. As a VSiN exclusive, you get 16 free smash burgers with any order of $129 or more, plus 50% off site-wide. omahasteaks.com/VSiN. It's dynamite. The steaks, the burgers, the sausages. omahasteaks.com/VSiN. Minimum purchase may apply. See site for details.
When does the Dallas Cowboys hype start in terms of being a player in the NFC or being a Super Bowl contender? I'm talking about mainstream media here.
It's already there.
Mainstream media is?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Romo wasn't the first guy to suggest they could run out.
I guess that's a lack of me paying attention. But it's been said elsewhere, huh? All right.
Well, I mean, also, yeah. Well, you beat Philly and Kansas City back-to-back. Also, look at the schedule. 7-5-1 with a win tonight. Minnesota, Chargers, Washington, and the Giants. Man, let's kill 2 birds with 1 stone here. Did you see the report about Black Friday?
Well, there were several. Which one are you talking about?
Okay. This is
Most money ever spent? $3 trillion?
All right. Goodell doesn't rule out a second Black Friday game.
I did. Okay, that
As
one,
NFL eyes more schedule changes.
Real or Fugazi, Pauly? We don't need a second Black Friday game.
Oh, no. Now, here's the other thing, too, because I brought up the Army-Navy thing.
We absolutely do not need another Black Friday game. There's already too much going on.
The Sports Broadcasting Act of 1961 prohibits the NFL from televising games on Saturdays or after 6 p.m. Eastern on Fridays from the second weekend in September through the second weekend in December. Under current federal law, a consecutive Black Friday doubleheader would have to be completed by 6 p.m. Eastern. The first game would have to start by noon Eastern at the latest.
I got news for you.
But this is also ties into Survivor if this happens, but also it's the power of the NFL. I mean, you go back to 1961, give me a break. You can put another game on. Are they really playing high school football that late?
I can't, Paul. Paul, that rule is so. It's 1961.
Yeah, come on.
That could change like this.
No kidding.
That's total non-factor. If they wanted to change that, it could be done in the next 5 minutes.
Absolutely. 61 million people just watched the Cowboy Chiefs game.
There you go. And guess what?
And you put something on.
Money's going to talk.
Yeah. You don't think people would watch Packers Bears Saturday night after the Army-Navy game or whatever you want to put on there? Not to mention the Black Friday. But I also brought it up for that reason and the Survivor, too. I mean, imagine we're talking about 5 games now.
Yeah. No good. We don't need it. There's too much going on. Thanksgiving, come on. Thanksgiving is dedicated. The whole day is about just eating like a complete pig for 8 hours and watching 3 football games. One's enough the next day. You got a zillion college basketball games on, college football. It's supposed to be a big weekend. This is what I hate. The NFL wants to dominate big college football weekends. Unnecessary.
Yeah.
You already dominate the entire world for 5 months out of the year anyway.
That's unfortunate. That doubleheader with Packers, Bears, and Washington Eagles goes against 2 playoff
You
games.
think we need that?
College football. That's a bad move.
It's a terrible move.
No. Move it up. But you're right. Get rid of this rule from 1961. Stupid.
I'm all in for that. Now, it's a different story tomorrow. We've been very pro-Dallas on this show today. Could be wrong.
All right. Okay, let's go.
And the market could be right. What if the Lions win and cover? Season's done for Dallas.
It is.
Right?
That's right.
And then are we talking about by the way, there's a report. People right now covering the Lions in this game. Amon-Ra St. Brown going through a vigorous pregame workout trying to play. And people are saying, I don't see dudes work out like this that are not fined. So maybe he gives it a go tonight in this spot.
So right now, Dallas is 3-1 to make the playoffs. The no is minus 380. But this gets really juicy if they win tonight. You're right. If they lose, it's over. It was a hell of a run, and you're on to next year. But then I think the price on Detroit plus 150 to make it. No, minus 140. But if they win, they're 8-5. You go to L.A., you'll probably get buried. You lose that. But then it's Steelers, Vikings, Chicago. The last 2 are on the road.
Well, based on the result tonight, Sunday in Green Bay is maybe for that division. That turns into...
Right.
By the way, how come...
Right. And if the Packers win, though, I don't think it's crazy to suggest Chicago-Detroit could be a playoff game, the final game of the season.
By the way, that game, going back a good week or so, that's the game that should have been flexed into Monday night. I'd rather have that than Chargers-Eagles. Give me Bears-Packers on Monday night on the flex. The Sunday night game is absolutely spectacular.
They probably protected it, but...
I know, I understand. That's their silly rules and their protections. Okay. Again, 1961. Yada, yada, yada.
Well, they've had their chance, though. What's the point of having it when you're not going to use it?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, get this Pittsburgh-Miami game out of here coming up next Monday night.
Terrible.
With the options that we have.
I think this is we're going to find out a lot about Jared Goff in this game tonight. Overall. And I think there's a really good angle where it doesn't go pretty for him. Doesn't go well, doesn't look pretty.
Yep.
And I just...
Concur.
And maybe the Detroit defense steps up and they play the game of the year. But if they're going to slow down Dak Prescott, I'll be wrong on my bets. But if they don't slow him down, Goff's going to have to keep up the whole game. I'm not sure he can do it. That's where my money's at, that he's not going to be able to.
Good call from the guru. With the temps over.
Yeah.
I really like that.
I like that one, too.
I think they'll have success on the ground and Gibbs receiving yards over as well. He also loves Tesla over 30 in the mid 30s as well.
Same
And
with Charch.
so Charch was big on him too.
Yep.
You ever think we come in here, we're talking about that guy anytime touchdown and the price, like plus 170 only?
Yep. Prime time next. Humans, Murray, and they're going to be live throughout the game tonight as well. Stay tuned, cashing out following them. And wake up early tomorrow with Jensen and Dave. VSiN by the books at 7 a.m. Eastern. Good luck tonight.